Hey, didn't see you there. I'm Lindsay, and it is Lights, Camera, Action Week, and we are going to be making something so awesome today in STEAM. We are going to be making a pinhole camera. Goes with our Lights, Camera, Action theme. We're gonna talk about how cameras work. We're gonna make our own pinhole camera using materials that you probably have at home. Let's get started. Here's what you need. For the pinhole camera, you're going to make it out of some sort of cylindrical container. So for this one, I have some oatmeal container. This had a lot of oats in it. You can also use a Pringles container or something like that that is this same shape. It's like a circle on the bottom and has some sort of cap you can take off. Whatever you would like. I've even seen this done with some cardboard boxes that are squares. So I'm interested to see what other shapes that everyone tries to use. This is, yeah, I think you can use whatever shape you'd like. It just needs to be some sort of cardboard material. Now, to get started, we're going to need our cardboard base. So I'm gonna use my oats container. I took the wrapper off of it because I'm gonna be able to decorate it. The lid comes right off of it, so it's so awesome. You don't need to do any cutting or anything. This is perfect for us right now. So I cleaned out all of my oats. There's no more oatmeal in here. Unfortunately, the oats are gone. So next we're gonna need some sort of writing utensil. I have a marker. You can use a pencil, a pen, anything like that. Some tape. I have two types of tape. I have my black tape here or some clear tape here, whichever one you would like. Any tape is fine to hold down your paper. Our next material is our wax paper. So super important. You can either use wax paper or parchment paper. You want to use something that is see-through enough that you can see through it. We're gonna actually use this as our lens. And then finally, you're gonna need something pointy. I have a push pin right here, a thumbtack. Be sure to be careful when you grab one of these. If you have one of these at home, you can also use a fork or something else that's really pointy because we need to make a really small hole. That's why we call it a pinhole camera. So let's get started. To start out, I'm going to take my oats container, whatever container that you have, and you can take the cap right off of it. We're not gonna need the cap. We're going to replace the cap with something over top, which is gonna be our wax paper. You can use parchment paper or anything like that. But to figure out what size, I need a scissor, sorry. We're gonna cut out a piece of paper, parchment paper or wax paper, that is the size of our shape. So I'm gonna trace this so that it's circular. You don't have to trace it, doesn't have to be perfect. You want to cut out something that's a little bit bigger than your shape. So I traced out my circle. I'm gonna cut around this, but I'm gonna leave some extra room around the sides because I want to be able to wrap this around my, my jar. Now, if you do this with a Pringles can, it's gonna be a little bit smaller, but that's okay. It will still work just fine. Alrighty. So I cut out my circle. It's not perfect, that's okay. I'm going to tape it onto the open side of my cylinder here. Now, you want this to be pretty flat and tight across. So to tape it, I found that it's easiest to take a couple pieces of little tape first, just to secure it down, and then taking tape to wrap all the way around the sides. You want to make sure there's no open spaces. You want to make sure it's entirely covering the opening. Sorry, I lost my tape start here. There it is. So I'm gonna tape it down in 4 places just so that it's secure on top. Just like that. This part's a little tricky, just be patient with it. We just wanna make sure that we don't crinkle our parchment paper or wax paper too much, just because we're gonna be looking through it. We wanna make sure it's flat. Alrighty, so it is flat on there. I'm going to secure the other edges down by putting tape all around the side. So I'm gonna take a long piece of my sticky tape and I'm going to tape around the circle. Amazing. Once it is taped all the way down, it should look nice and flat on top, and it should be nice and secure. It shouldn't come off or anything like that. So now you have a closed container. You have the wax paper on top, and you have the bottom. Mine was already bottom. We need to now create our pinhole, because the light is going to come through the bottom of our camera, and we're gonna look through this part as our lens. So to create this hole, we're gonna do it in the middle, so we can try to measure it or we can eyeball it. It's just gotta be directly in the middle. So I'm gonna take my push pin right here, and I'm gonna just try to find the middle of it, and I'm just gonna poke it right through the middle. Doesn't have to be perfect, just poked it right through. So I have a hole, and this hole is tiny. It's a pinhole. And I know it might seem like, it might seem like this is a super small pinhole, but that's the point. There's gonna be light rays that can come in. Okay. It might seem like this hole is super, super tiny. I hope you can see it. It's so small. But all the light that we need to use our camera is gonna come through this tiny, tiny, tiny hole. Alrighty, so once we have our pinhole made and we have our lens on top, our wax paper, we are ready to decorate. Now, you can decorate this however you would like. I decorate mine with markers. I wrote steam on mine. You can really decorate whatever you'd like. I'm going to use my markers again to maybe draw some sunrise related. And you're just gonna decorate this and make it your own. You can also wrap this in some construction paper. You can paint it, whatever you would like. And after you are done decorating it, you can go ahead Alrighty, I'm done decorating mine. You can keep decorating yours. I would love to see what you come up with. You can decorate it with paint or markers or crayons or whatever you would like. But now let's talk about how to use this pinhole camera. Alrighty, as I said before, the light is gonna come through this tiny, 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 tiny pinhole. It's gonna come right through there. And you're gonna look through your wax paper, through your parchment paper. And you might be saying to yourself, I don't see anything. Yeah, sometimes it's a little hard to see. We need to be in the right environment for our pinhole camera to work. What's happening is the light is coming in through the bottom, through this tiny, tiny, tiny hole, and it is bending. So it's coming in through that hole, and it is bending. And so what we see when we look through our wax paper is actually the light rays that have gotten to the wax paper and now projecting onto it an image, which we will see. So the best way to see your image is to be in a dark room, or you can wrap yourself up in a blanket and put your pinhole camera under the blanket. Just make sure that this part is sticking out. Obviously your pinhole keep pointing out, but the rest of you can be under the blanket. You can look at a bright object. You can look at the TV, you can look at a computer, you can look at a bright window. You can play around with it in terms of like how far away you want to, look into it from your body. You can hold it out like this, or you can hold it out like this, just until you see something, you see an image. And I promise you'll be able to see one. If it's bright enough for your image and dark enough for your camera, you will be able to see one. Now, I will tell you something that's super cool about this image that you're gonna see. Whatever you're looking at, you're gonna see through your Pinhole camera, it's gonna be upside down. Now, that's a super cool thing about cameras. It's also a super cool thing about light. The way that light works, the way that we're looking at things. Should I tell them that everything's upside down? I feel like that's a big shock. Oh, okay. Okay. The things you're looking at right now on the computer screen, or looking at anything you're looking at right now when it comes into your eyeballs, is actually coming in as upside down, and your brain has to flip it right side up. So our fancy cameras that we use nowadays, the one that we have on our phone, will flip our image right side up. But when you use your Pinhole camera, you're only gonna see your image upside down. And that's because when the light rays come in, they collect and they are upside down when they make the image on the other side. If I had a diagram, I would show them how that makes sense, but. And then what else do I want to say? And that's pretty much it. Just play around with your Pinhole camera. I would love to see what decorations you come up with. If you would like to learn more about cameras, this is the basic introduction to Pinhole cameras. This is really only a viewer. If you wanted to capture an image, there's a whole process using film and capturing the image, and we can talk more and more about that if you are interested. But for now, I am so glad you joined in to make a Pinhole camera. Hope you enjoyed Lights, Cameras, Action Week. What else? Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. And that's it. We made a Pinhole camera. Thanks so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed. Please post pictures. Okay. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed making a Pinhole camera. I would love to see your decorations, what you came up with, what you used for your Pinhole camera. Did it work? Did you see any images? Post pictures and share them with us on Blooms. Also, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Sunrise Association, and click the notification bell so you never miss out when we post a new video. We'll see you next time. Bye.
If you're not watching this on the Sunrise Studios app, well, why not? You can download the Sunrise Studios app on your phone or tablet from your app store, and you can watch all of our virtual cam videos the moment they're released. You can also find Sunrise Studios on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, or you can watch it on our Sunrise Association YouTube channel. See you soon!